Good morning and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Kat, and if you're new here, we are baking our way through Some of My Best Friends Are Cookies by Emelia Jackson. Earlier this morning, I made macaroons, and part of that recipe was egg whites. So I've got a couple of egg yolks left over. I gave one to my puppy, and the other one I'm going to use to make these brown sugar and brown butter vanilla sables. So the first thing that we needed to do was brown our butter. So I will take you back to when I did that, and then we will get started. So you can see that our butter has cooled and reset. So I'm just going to scrape that into my mixer bowl. So we started with 290 grams of unsalted butter, and it says that we should be left with 235 grams now that that has been browned and has cooled. I have just a little bit over that, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. The next thing that we need to add is 130 grams of brown sugar. $60 grams of icing sugar, and 2 egg yolks. Now, as I mentioned, I gave one of these to my puppy, so that's the one from this morning. And that is a second one. And we do need the egg white from this egg. To dip the edges of our biscuits in later on, but it's not going to be made into meringue, so it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of yolk in there. And now we are just going to mix this together until it is just combined. It does say not to cream it. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this as it mixes. So that's just combined. I wish that you could smell this. The brown butter smell is absolutely amazing. Next up, we're going to add 270 grams of plain flour. And I need to refill my canister. Half a teaspoon of salt. And the seeds from 1 vanilla pod. I happen to have some vanilla pods here that I am using to make extract. So I'm just going to take one of these out, take the seeds out, and put the pod back in. It does say that you can just use a teaspoon of vanilla extract or vanilla paste, but given that I have some pods here, I will just use that. And I've just used the back of my knife to scrape all of those vanilla pod seeds out. And the actual pod can go back into my extract to continue to flavour that. I did make sure it was a clean chopping board and a clean knife. Now we're just going to mix this together until it combines. So that is just combined. It is quite crumbly, but now we need to wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in the fridge to firm up. So I've just got my dough out of the fridge, and it says to roll it out on a lightly floured surface. I'm using some baking paper, but I am going to just lightly flour my rolling pin, and we want to roll it out to be about 1 centimetre thick. It's still quite sticky, so I'm going to put a second piece on top. And we're going to cut these into 6 centimetre rounds. So I've just got a little bit of raw sugar in this bowl, and I have just lightly whisked this egg white. And what we need to do next is pick up our biscuit, gently roll it in the egg white, and then roll it in the sugar and pop it back on the tray. Now these need to bake at 160 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes. So our sables have cooled on the tray for 15 minutes, and then I have transferred them onto a cooling rack. We are going to give them a bit of a taste test and see what we think. They are quite nice. Probably not my favorite. I probably wouldn't make them again. You can really taste the brown butter in them, which is quite a nice flavor. Just not my favorite. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you would like, I will pop another one here for you to watch between now and my next upload. Thanks for being here. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.